I'm back with some real interesting information. There's a very common keto-friendly ingredient that could be stopping your weight loss. So we know that keto is low carb, right? We know that we need to cut out the sugar. We know we need to cut out the grains. But we're going to talk about grain oils, or specifically seed oils. And a nice way of saying it would be vegetable oils, which is really not vegetable oil because you're not taking the oil from the vegetable, you're taking it from the seed of the plant. Okay, that's a lot different. What's the problem? The problem is omega-6 fats. Okay, highly inflammatory. It triggers insulin resistance, just as bad as sugar or refined grains. I mean, if you even look at the past, from 1970 to present, we had an increase of sugar, but we had a much more massive spike of vegetable oils. Not to mention the soy oil, the cottonseed oil, canola oil, and corn oil are all GMO. So that's a compounded effect that I don't even want to get into at this point, but we also have safflower oil and sunflower oil. Almond flour and peanut butter are all higher in omega-6. Now, I'm not saying you can't have some of these, but you want to balance it out with your omega-3. An average person in America has 15 times more omega-6 than omega-3. And they're consuming 45 grams of omega-6 fats every single day. That's 10.8 teaspoons of that oil. That is crazy too high. Here's another problem that goes beyond the inflammation and insulin resistance. The half-life for some of these oils are between 600 and 680 days. In other words, they're not used as fuel. They get stuck in the body, in the cell membranes. They clog up the liver, they clog up the brain. Even though some of these foods are not ketogenic, some are, these are the top sources of omega-6 fats. Number one, chicken. Do you realize that chicken has very high levels of omega-6 fatty acids? Number two would be grain desserts. Of course, if you're on keto, you're not going to be doing that, but that's very high in omega-6. Salad dressings. This is one that you may be doing and not even knowing it's very high in omega-6. And even though there might not be any sugar in it, it's inflammatory and it can cause insulin resistance. What about chips? Potato chips, corn chips. They're using these oils right here, right? Omega-6 fatty acids. Nuts and seeds are mainly omega-6 fatty acids. Now, I'm not saying you can't do nuts or seeds. I'm just saying you have to balance this out with the omega-3 fatty acids. Pizza, of course, that's omega-6. Breads, fries, because you're going to be using one of these oils right here. And of course, pasta. The definition of keto is low carb. It doesn't really emphasize the type of fat that you should be putting in your body. You'd be much healthier if you focus on cooking with the coconut oil, the butter, and especially the olive oil and the avocado oil. If you're plateauing with keto, you may be consuming too many of these oils right here, or you're using too much almond flour. Some people on keto get inflamed when they consume almond flour. That could come from either the oxalates or the omega-6. They get inflammation when they do too much peanut butter. With these two, I just recommend use these in moderation. You can even use some of these, but you're going to have to offset it with more omega-3 fatty acids. It's kind of debatable as far as the exact ratio you need, but if you're going to do maybe a 3-to-1 or even like a 1-to-1 ratio for a while until you get things balanced out, that might be a good idea. So what has more omega-3 fatty acids? Fish, olive oil, grass-fed beef and other animal products, walnuts and chia seed and Brussels sprouts and other vegetables too have a precursor to omega-3. It's ALA. This is just another reason why you need to do the healthy version of keto. If you're new to my channel, I put a link down below, but definitely do not put these in your body. Limit these two right here and possibly reduce these right here if you have a problem with inflammation, or maybe you just plateaued and you want to speed up the weight loss. If you haven't seen my other video on plateau, I'm going to put it up right here. Check it out.